On a Friday afternoon, after my visit to a Hunter senior at Oxo Hospital, I checked the time and realized that Zayne should be getting off work right now. I haven't made any plans for this weekend yet. Maybe I can ask if he'd like to play kitty cards again. Reflecting on it, I recall that Zayne played kitty care cards with me at the cat cafe when we hung out last time. As I walk past the garden in the hospital's inpatient area, a child's cries reach my ears, coming from behind the fountain.
I want Mommy and Daddy! Where are they?
Be a good girl, Tanaya. Your mom and dad will come back this evening.
I want to see them right now!
Next to the fountain, a young girl, aged only 5 or 6, is wailing in Vivon's arms.
What happened?
Dr. Zayne, Tanaya's parents missed the visiting hours at noon and could only come here this evening.
I see.
Zayne crouches down before Tanaya, gently pulling down her hands that are rubbing her eyes.
Tanaya.
Tanaya's wailing soon turns into sobbing.
Dr. Zayne, I want Mommy and Daddy.
Haha, I don't think Zayne has ever failed in soothing a child. Hold on a sec. Am I seeing things? As Zayne calms Tanaya down, I notice in his hair are
Fluffy cat ears!
Tanaya, check your watch. When the shorthand passes 3 more numbers, your mother and father will arrive at the hospital. They'll be here soon.
Zayne's tone remains patient and gentle, but it doesn't seem like Tanaya heard him. Those fluffy ears capture all her attention. Her gaze is filled with curiosity, and her expression displays an eagerness to touch them.
Dr. Zayne, can I touch your cat ears, please?
She speaks as she reaches out her little hand, trying to touch those intriguing furry ears. Unexpectedly, Zayne dodges the little hand by slightly tilting his head. Once I return to Zayne's office with him, his shift is over. He tidies up his desk and then looks up to meet my gaze. I thought you'd be shocked to see me after that checkup, but you're not even surprised.
You should try hiding farther away next time.
How? I was crouching. Don't tell me you got X-ray vision while I wasn't around.
I heard you.
Oh, right. I want to tell you something. Those cat ears look so realistic.
These are real.
What? How? I thought. As I inch closer, wanting to confirm how authentic Zayne's cat ears are, he moves away.
You think they were props from our hospital to soothe children? Anyway, I don't just have cat ears. There's also a tail.
Hidden by his white lab coat, a big, fluffy tail sways. Who? You even have that? So, what happened? It's only been a few days. How did Dr. Zayne become Dr. Kitty?
I've thought about it, and the only logical explanation involves our last visit to Meow's cafe.
Are you up for another round? I'm feeling lucky today. Let's keep the momentum going.
All right, we can do that. It's already dark. Still want to play?
If I didn't have a mission tomorrow morning, I'd go head-to-head with you until midnight.
If you are still not satisfied, we can do this another time.
I remember our intense kitty cards games from that day. Zayne and I were evenly matched. Both of us had our share of wins and losses. Our game raged on until the evil kitties at the cafe were all worn out, yet both Zayne and I were unwilling to give up. I was about to praise Axo Hospital for their exceptional care and support for young patients. Next time, I'll think twice before messing with those kitties. Who knew such adorable little creatures could hold a grudge?
Those kitties worked very hard that day. They probably wanted to vent their frustration.
Is there anything we can do? Or will you be stuck like this forever?
When I first became like this, I found out my evil was being suppressed. But over the past few days, I've noticed signs of recovery. Perhaps after this weekend, I'll wake up to find myself fully recovered.
But what if you don't?
I'll request to be transferred to pediatrics.
Suddenly, bird chirping resounds outside the window. Zayne's cat ears perk up, and his gaze swiftly shifts to the window in curiosity. However, much to his chagrin, the birds fly away, seemingly alerted by his presence. Zayne, who's normally composed and serious, resembles an irritated big cat. I can't help but burst into laughter. So you don't just look like a cat. Even your habits are similar to a cat, huh? Do you want me to buy you cat treats and canned food? Zayne flicks my forehead.
Thanks, but I'll pass. Unfortunately, life has become more troublesome since I became like this.
For example, you feel sleepy during the day, but you're wide awake at night. If a furball passes by, do you crave to chase after it?
I do.
Are you always on high alert, even when you hear the faintest of noises?
Correct.
You're really like a cat. No, you're absolutely a big kitty cat now. Appearing somewhat exhausted, he pinches the bridge of his nose. Everyone knows cats are experts at enjoying themselves. So, you're a cat now, Dr. Zayne. Don't be too hard on yourself. Let me be your caretaker this weekend, all right? In front of me, you can fully embrace your feline nature. You can chase all the fur balls you want or gorge yourself on dried fish.
It sounds like someone wants to live out her dream of having a cat.
Well, that's not the only reason. He crosses his arms in anticipation of my next words, and his big tail sways behind him. You suddenly turned into a cat. I can't help but feel a little bit responsible.
Just a little bit?
Anyway, I'm serious. So, can we try and see how it goes?
All right. I'll leave my weekend in my caretaker's hands.
With our caretaking agreement in full effect, Zayne proceeds to put on his coat. He even grabs a hat from the rack to cover his cat ears. No need to hide them. From now on, you should embrace your feline nature with perfect dignity from now on. He hesitates only for a moment before putting away the hat. Suddenly, the sound of hurried footsteps echoes outside the door, causing Zayne's cat ears to perk up and twitch vibrantly. As I recall the scene where he tenderly comforted Tenaya, I can't help but wonder what it'd be like to touch those cat ears. Feeling an itch in my palm, I reach out to him.
Is there anything else?
Dr. Zayne, can I touch your cat ears, please? Just one stroke. I promise I won't get greedy.
No.
No again. I recall the times I wanted to cuddle with aloof cats and how they would turn their heads away, showing reluctance. What's happening right now is no different. The next day, I slowly awaken, momentarily dazed as I gaze at the ceiling of my bedroom. However, a sudden realization causes me to quickly sit up. It's already 10 a.m. I promptly jump out of bed and rush out of the room. This isn't good. On my first day as a caretaker, I've already failed my duties. Zayne must be done with his morning routine of going for a run, eating breakfast, and catching up on the news. Zayne's shoes and coat are still by the entrance. The TV isn't turned on either, as if no one has been there. In the dim guest room, Zayne is sleeping quietly, wrapped up in a soft blanket. After turning into a cat, even his daily routine has changed quite a lot.
What time is it?
Just a few hours later than your usual wake-up time. Zayne pauses momentarily before trying to sit up, despite not being fully awake. Don't move. I quickly press down the blanket, leaving him no choice but to lie back down again.
Why would there be a rule against getting up?
Cats spend 70% of their lives sleeping. Mastering the art of lounging in bed is key to relaxing like a cat. So, indulge your sleepiness. As the words lounging in bed and sleepiness reach Zayne's ears, a subtle bewilderment flickers across his face. You don't know how to lounge in bed, Zayne.
I'm not particularly good at it. However,
Suddenly, Zayne pulls me onto the bed, curling his body around mine like a cat seeking comfort and affection from his owner.
does the cat code have a rule against lounging in bed with the caretaker?
I don't think so. They say pets have a way of influencing their owner's habits. If I become lazy, should I let you take the credit for that?
Lounging in bed with a cat can't be considered laziness.
He uses his chin to rub the top of my head, then moves to nuzzle my neck. The ticklish sensation almost tempts me to push him away, but I can't bring myself to nudge aside this drowsy, affectionate big cat. Since I'm lounging in bed with you, can I touch your ears?
I'll give it some thought.
His body radiates warmth, matching the cozy temperature beneath the blanket, gradually lulling me back into a sleepy state. Well, looks like I won't get much done this morning. Cuddling a cat really is a human's downfall.
Lounging in bed with a human makes a cat happy. You also smell nice today.
As soon as those words are spoken, I hear Zayne's steady breathing behind my ear. fall asleep is actually good for Zayne. I wonder if his dream is filled with delicious dried fish right now.
Today, I'll show you how to make the best macarons. First, we need to add almond flour and powdered sugar to...
I'm standing by the kitchen counter, following a video to learn how to make macarons. Every now and then, my big cat with nothing better to do strolls in to glance around, maintaining his nonchalant demeanor and sauntering back out as if nothing has happened. When he enters my kitchen for the third time patrolling around, I can't help but laugh. Are you patrolling your kingdom, your Majesty? But this is my place, if I remember it correctly.
This and that have my scent. Why can't this place be considered my territory?
So what you're saying is, as long as something or someone has your scent, they're all yours?
For cats with a strong sense of territory. That is correct.
Zayne approaches me and sniffs a few times.
You're all mine.
I observe his serious expression as something soft wraps around my waist. Looking down, I see his fluffy tail. I have macarons to make, and no time to argue with the kitty cat. At the mention of the word macaron, the big cat's eyes seem to sparkle with excitement, prompting him to move aside obediently.
After adding some salt, let's swift it. We know how sweet macarons are.
My attention returns to the ingredients in front of me.
Add another spoonful of sugar.
I'm following the instructions from the video to the letter. Adding another spoonful would make it too sweet.
If I'm not mistaken, these macaroons are for your cat, no? Cats aren't particularly sensitive to sweetness, so you should add a bit more.
Really? While I add another spoonful, I glance at the yellow almond flour, perplexed, as it becomes nearly obscured by the sugar.
It probably still needs more. You can add another.
Is this a request from the cat or Zayne?
Cats are solitary creatures. Without sweets to lift their spirits, they'll feel quite unhappy.
But how am I supposed to eat these macarons?
I'll eat.
Observing his serious expression, I defiantly add 2 more spoonfuls of powdered sugar, vigorously stirring the ingredients while glaring at him. Kitty Zayne, you'd better make sure you can handle these sugary macarons. Going to the veterinarian can put a dent in your caretaker's wallet. After dinner, daylight still lingers. Zayne sits by the window, closing his eyes to rest. His big tail occasionally swishes around behind him. I walk over, hoping to touch it, yet the tail skillfully evades my hand. Hey, don't be so stingy.
Now you want to play with your cat?
I see what's going on now. Someone's holding a grudge because I didn't play with him in the kitchen earlier.
I'm not.
By the way, there's a mall that just opened nearby. Since you rarely get a day off, would you join in on the fun and take a relaxing stroll?
Is it time for a post-meal catwalk? But with me looking like this, am I joining in on the fun? Or just becoming the fun for others to gawk at?
Why do you sound so anxious?
I still remember being surrounded by a group of children.
Recalling the scene at the hospital yesterday, I can't help but copy and paste a dozen Tanayas in my mind, who have Kitty Zayne surrounded.
So these days, I can only shuttle back and forth between home and the hospital.
It turns out that it's not only the feline behaviors that trouble Zayne, but also the challenges arising from people's affection for cats. Although I can't fully understand how you feel. Today is different because you're a cat with a caretaker.
I've heard this mall has 2 entire floors dedicated to children's areas.
Leave it to me. No one can snatch my kitty Zayne away. With a firm nod, I seize the opportunity to catch the big tail, making a solemn vow.
You don't need to treat this as a life or death situation. However, do keep me safe.
Although I can't fully understand how you feel. If you keep staying indoors all the time, you'll be a sad cat coughing up hairballs.
What will I gain from a walk outside?
Darn it. You've only been a cat for a few days. Now you're making demands. So what do you want? Mouse plushies, treats, or a cat tree?
There's no cat tree for my size. To attract cats, you need to place what they find most interesting right before their eyes.
Oh, then for the sake of macarons? For my sake then? Care to accompany your caretaker for a walk? Zayne stands up, his gaze overflowing with joy.
Let's go.
Surprisingly, this newly opened mall isn't crowded. A charismatic young man wearing a butler uniform and cat ears energetically distributes flyers at the entrance of a pet cafe.
We just opened. Fancy taking a look? Cat-eared butlers at your service. And there are cats rolling over and showing off their tummies.
With great enthusiasm, he hands me a flyer and a cat wand as part of their giveaway. Zayne, they have cats that show off their cute tummies. Zayne takes the flyer from my hand and casts a glance at all the cats that are on it.
Shall we go inside?
Let's. Just as I'm about to respond, I notice his ears tilting downward and his eyes slightly narrowed as he looks at me. Let's check out the other stores.
Aren't you curious about the cats with their cute tummies?
I scratch the chin of the big kitty Zayne beside me. Since I brought my cat with me today, I'll pass. He hands the flyer to me.
Give this back to him. The next pet lover will need it.
Thankfully, there aren't a lot of people in the mall. Zayne doesn't get surrounded by kids. In the men's section, a suit displayed in the shop window of Mr. Selfton catches our eyes. Hold on. This suit kind of looks like what that butler was wearing.
I'll try it on.
Huh? Zayne's gaze lands on the suit, similar to a butler's outfit.
Many caretakers are keen on dressing up their cats. Am I wrong?
The store's decor exudes a luxurious ambience. and the fitting room is exceptionally spacious and adorned with expensive furnishings. Since Zayne entered the fitting room with that suit, silence has enveloped the surrounding area for a few minutes. Zayne, are you done?
Yes, I am. Could you come in and check it for me?
I walk into the fitting room and find Zayne standing before a full-length mirror. In the mirror, the impeccably tailored suit drapes flawlessly accentuate his figure, as if it was made specifically for him. Now I finally understand why people are into dressing up their cats now.
I'll admit I look more like a butler with this.
I take out the cat wand from earlier and gently tap his furry cat ears. Other people's cat ears are fake, but yours are real. My kitty Zayne is winning big time.
Just now, a certain caretaker reluctantly gave up on visiting that cafe. I wanted to tell her that one can have both a cat and a butler.
After those words escape Zayne's lips, he pauses before leaning in closely toward my neck. What's wrong? I step back and wave the cat wand in front of Zayne.
This scent.
At the same time, our gazes fall onto the cat wand in my hand.
There's some catnip in it.
Zayne can't resist inching closer, and in response, I slowly step backward, holding the cat wand. So, do you like it or not?
Do you know what this cat likes most?
Catnip? Or a cat wand?
Neither. He likes his owner more than anything else.
You made my shoe come off.
Looks like someone hasn't forgotten about touching my ears. The cat won't fulfill all your requests. It hurts. All right. At your service, my lady. Your hands. They still smell like catnip.
They do? Ow. You know, a good cat doesn't bite its owner.
This is how I express my affection.
Then let me express my affection. You like that? Besides affection, I'm curious, do cats also feel possessive toward their owners?
Of course. Just like this. What this gesture means is, this is mine.
The warm afternoon sun casts a drowsy glow over everything. On the couch, I find myself lying sideways, eyelids heavy, nearly tiptoeing into dreamland. Zayne silently approaches me. With my eyes closed, I roll over, surrendering to his warm embrace. The blanket that had fallen to the side is gently lifted and envelops us, cocooning the warmth between our bodies. Is my cat cuddling with me, or is my butler taking good care of me?
Both.
The next moment, I feel Zayne poke my face. I open my eyes abruptly and catch sight of the ice crystal perched on his fingertip. It's cold. Wait, you can use your evil now?
Not fully recovered yet, but it won't take long.
The cat ears atop his head and the cat tail trailing behind remain intact. I clench my fist and extend it toward him as if I was holding a microphone. Well, someone's about to stop being a cat soon. Care to share any thoughts on your brief cat life?
It turns out that eating, playing, and sleeping are very important for cats. I'd like to thank my caretaker for giving me a happy cat life.
You're welcome. But here's the thing. Your caretaker still has a teeny tiny wish. I hope that it can be granted before a certain tender-hearted cat disappears. A warmth spreads throughout my hand. Zayne is holding it. In his embrace, I look up. The sunlight streams in behind him, its gentle glow carefully obscuring his gentle expression. Dr. Zayne, can I touch your cat ears? Please?
Go ahead.